What's up, everybody? I'm back. Welcome to a brand new video. We got a lot of good news today for Godzilla, so I cannot wait to get into this news update. Usually with these news updates, casting news, whatever, it's not that cool. This time we got some cool news. I cannot wait to talk about this stuff. Starting off, this isn't even 100% Godzilla related, but this is like crazy how I've never heard of this before. I've heard of it, but I've never really heard of it. This is the first time I've ever actually done research into what this is. Now, this is a game called City Shrouded in Shadows. It's coming out for PS4 only. Japan PS4 only, so I'm gonna have to find a way to get this in America. It launches in fall. Man, this sounds incredible. So this is what I've heard of before, is that the game is like human perspective, you're watching Godzilla in a city, and that's all I heard. Okay, but now I found out human perspective, you're watching Godzilla in a city. That's not it. King Ghidorah is there. You're going to be watching him in the city. I don't know what all you do in this game, but that's going to be a level on it. I think that's level 2, as we'll talk about here in a second. Then there's an Ultraman level where it's Ultraman fighting someone in the city. That's going to be crazy awesome to see. And now the new update is that Evangelion Unit 1, so the one that everyone's familiar with, and Gamera are confirmed to be added into the game. Now this is just so cool. So a game where you not only have Ultraman and Godzilla and King Ghidorah, you have Evangelion as well as Gamera all in the same game. That is just going to be so crazy. I cannot wait. So here's the levels. Level 1 is Ultraman and Nessus Ultraman and Alien Zabra. I'm not familiar with Ultraman very well, but basically it looks like Ultraman versus Bad Ultraman versus maybe some other monster, I don't know. Level 2, Godzilla vs King Ghidorah, that's going to be sweet to see. Now we got Evangelion as level 3, Evangelion Unit 1 versus the 4th Angel, so that should be really cool. And then Gamera versus Soldier Legion, so this just sounds like it's just going to be incredibly cool. And I guess you get to play, you pick which character you play as, and then, I don't know, you get to choose relationships and hero or whatever. I don't know much about this, but I guess the description is people run away from huge monsters. The game is there so you can experience the feeling of one of the people watching these attacks. So it's kind of sad that you don't get to play as the giant monsters, but still, this is just really cool regardless. And then it says it's like a choice-based game, so I'm guessing it's going to be something like a Telltale game where you get to choose. So now they say you wouldn't dare to see the ending fight between Ultraman and Nessus Ultraman. I'm not sure how you say that word, Nessus Ultraman, that's how I'm going to keep saying it. It says each work won't cross over, so basically, it's all new situations every episode or every level. It's not going to carry over. They're 75% done completing the game. There's no plans for DLC, however, it's under consideration. So this is really awesome. I cannot wait for this game because I never knew what it was. I knew that it was going to be a game where you like a human watching Godzilla in a city. That's all I really knew. Now I know so much more. I'm so excited for this. I gotta find a way to get this game. My uncle works for Sony. If he can't pull this off, he can't find a way to get this game, I'm gonna be upset. But I'm sure I'll find a way to get this game. Now, this next bit of news is pretty old. There will be more to it, more recent stuff to it, but for the most part, it's pretty old. On June 16th, last year, there was a trailer released for a Godzilla fan anime. I think it was released around the time of G-Fest. I remember I was doing Shin Godzilla news updates, and I saw the trailer, and I was like, I don't really care. I care now. I didn't really understand what it was. I figured, it's a fan film, that's all I needed to know, I was out. But no, now in an era where there is just Godzilla fan films up the butt, and they're all terrible, I cannot wait to see a good one, and this one looks like a good one. So this has a lot going for it. Number one, it's got good production value, like really good animation. Number two, it's not going to be very long, 15 to 20 minutes they say, so that's going to be like nice and refreshing. Then they said that it's going to have like little things that go with it, like there's not like part 1 and 2 or whatever, but there's like other things tied to it. Like it says 2 shorter animations that'll go with it. One of them will be directly tied to the main film. And then they got the composer, I'm not going to pretend I can pronounce his name, but they got the composer from Godzilla vs Megaguirus and Godzilla against Mechagodzilla to do original music for this movie. So this one's like a legit fan film. Like this one's not like Godzilla Heritage, which recently got shut down, like maybe a month ago it got shut down by Toho. This one, it seems like it's good to go, and I cannot wait to see the final product. So there is a trailer out on YouTube. You can go check it out. It's really cool. I will definitely leave links down in the description below. Really cool stuff. The reason I'm bringing this up now is because recently there's been pictures on Twitter posted of their new design for Rodan, as well as new video of Godzilla roaring for their film. So I think this is really cool. I cannot wait to see like the final product of this film. Like I said, I want to see a good fan film for once, and this looks like it'll be a really good fan film, and it'll also get me in the right mindset. I don't know when this totally comes out, but, you know, this will either get me in the mindset for Godzilla Monster Planet, or Godzilla Monster Planet will be like a really good introduction into anime for me, because I'm not really familiar with anime, but it'll be like a good introduction into anime for me, so then eventually I can get around to seeing this film whenever this film comes out, and then I can watch this and just hopefully it's good. Now, I know I just put out a Godzilla news update, but there is new Godzilla King of the Monsters news. Jonathan Howard, I don't really know anything. He's been like World War Z and some other things, but he's never been like a really significant role in a movie so far. So I've never actually heard of him, or I guess I would have seen him. I've seen World War Z, but I have no idea who he is in the movie. He's joining the cast for Godzilla King of the Monsters. He'll be playing a character called Asher, as well as, and this one's really, really interesting, Thomas Middleditch. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name, Middleditch. It's weird. Yeah, that's how you say it. So Thomas Middleditch is joining the cast for Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now this is why it's interesting, because you might be like, oh, who cares? First of all, he looks okay. I've seen him in trailers for Silicon Valley. Yeah, he looks okay. I don't watch Silicon Valley, and I'm not going to, but, you know, who cares, right? The reason this is interesting is because he's been in the Monsterverse before. He actually played a character named Jerry from Kong Skull Island, and if you're like, I don't remember a Jerry in Kong Skull Island, this is who he played. He played the dude on the phone in this clip.
Weaver.
Yeah, it's Jerry.
Hey, Jerry. Tell me, did I get it?
That landside thing? You got it.
I did?
It's the Athena, docked in Bangkok, Pier 14, 6 o'clock tomorrow night.
So that's really cool. The fact that we got him carried over from Kong Skull Island into Godzilla King of the Monsters. He's not going to be playing the same character, most likely. First of all, he'd be an old man, assuming that Jerry's this person around the age of, like, you know, Weaver, maybe older. He'd be like an older man. But, you know, who knows? Maybe he's playing that guy's son. Also, that guy really doesn't have any connection to Kong in the movie, so it's not like even if he is the same character, he's gonna know who Kong is. It'll just be some nice world building if he is the same character. However, I think he's gonna be playing an entirely new character, unrelated to the previous one he played in the Monsterverse, so it will be interesting to see him in the movie. Now, this one we already knew. I don't really know why this is news, but I guess it's officially confirmed now that Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah will be in Godzilla King of the Monsters. They'll be joining the movie. They'll be in the roster. I already thought it was confirmed. I thought it was confirmed at Comic-Con in 2014. I guess in Comic-Con 2014, now that I think about it, they just said, like, these monsters are in the Monsterverse, or it wasn't called the Monsterverse back then, but they're like, they're out there in this universe, in the 2014 universe. So I guess now it's officially confirmed that they're going to be in Godzilla King of the Monsters. That's good to hear. I thought that they were always confirmed to be in that movie. I thought it was even more confirmed. That's what the ending of Kong Skull Island was implying. But now that we actually hear 100%, yes, they're going to be in it, it's good to know. I'm pretty happy about that. So Godzilla Vs Kong has a new director, this guy named Adam Weingard. I've never heard of him. He's directed movies that I've never seen, so I'm not familiar with his directing style. Like Jordan Vogt Roberts, I'm kind of going in pretty fresh with this guy. I don't know anything about him. Also, pretty similar to what I'm doing with Michael Dougherty. I'm not very familiar with anything he's been in either. But it is, you know, we have a new officially announced director for Godzilla vs. Kong. Good news is, this guy's a diehard Kaiju fan. He's posting on Twitter, like, random pictures of, like, Showa Godzilla, so it's really awesome to see him love the franchise. He's also, like, he's been pretty good humored about this whole situation, saying, like, cue all the people telling me I'm ruining Godzilla and Kong. I made sure to tweet to him and I said, don't have them team up, otherwise you'll be proving those people right. As well as he put out a little poll saying, who do you think will win, Kong or Godzilla? Of course I voted for Kong, however I do believe Godzilla is going to win. You might be like, why'd you vote for Kong? I don't know, I like King Kong more at the moment. But obviously, I think Godzilla is gonna win. Godzilla is just, in the MonsterVerse, he seems to be a lot more powerful in terms of brute strength, which is funny because that's what Kong had going for him back in 1962. Yes, in that movie, Kong was a thinking animal and Godzilla was pure brute strength in that movie. But when you watch the movie, Godzilla's getting like flipped by Kong and he's just getting pounded on. Godzilla really doesn't have the physical advantage in that movie. He had the atomic breath going for him, where in these movies, Godzilla doesn't really have that atomic breath. He just is this powerhouse of just pure, like, upper body strength, and that tail, man, in 2014, he just decimates with it. So it'll be interesting to see two very close combat versions of these characters go head to head. Of course, Kong's always been a close combat character. He doesn't really have any other way to fight, but it'll be interesting to see nonetheless, and I do like seeing him make a point that one of them is going to win over the other one by posting this on Twitter. Thank God that you know, he must realize having them team up after what happened with Batman v Superman, having them team up is going to kill the movie. He must realize that, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Godzilla vs. Kong. In fact, I was kind of worried leading up to the announcement of this director that there was going to be a team up in the movie and that the movie was going to suck. So I'm really happy to hear this. I'm sure even if they do team up, I'll find something in the movie to like. It's Godzilla and Kong. What's not to like? I mean, if they team up, it'll be not to like. But you get the point, right? There's a lot to like with the movie. So, pretty excited. Don't really know anything about this director, but it's good to hear that we have someone who likes the franchise taking it on again. That's one thing. Jordan Vogt Roberts is very charismatic. He is honestly one of my favorite directors, and it's all because of the way he treated Kong and the way he just has this genuine love for the movie and the way he has this genuine love for the franchise. It is just incredible to see. Gareth Edwards, he liked the franchise. I don't think Gareth Edwards even comes close. He was always like, I wanted to make the Godzilla movie I always wanted to see as a kid. I don't think he comes close to Vogt Roberts when it comes to his love for the franchise. Otherwise, to be honest, he'd probably still be around. And I know Vogt Roberts has said in the past, he's like, I don't really think I'm going to come back for another MonsterVerse film. He said, never say never. But he said, like, I don't think I can really take on the next film. I don't think I have it, like, the ability to make a great movie, a follow-up great movie, which is totally understandable. He said he doesn't think he can take on a movie as large of scope as Godzilla vs. Kong. Totally understandable. I think he could. But Gareth Edwards, I think although I think he's an incredible director, I don't think he has as much of a love for the franchise as maybe Vogt Roberts had. And I think that this new director, this Adam Weingart guy, he might have that same kind of love. Like I said, he was posting pictures of Showa Godzilla, which is honestly just crazy to think of, because Showa Godzilla is one of those things that often gets crapped on for being, like, you know, cheesy or whatever. I love it, but I mean, it's good to see someone else does. Michael Dougherty's the same way. Michael Dougherty even said, he posted on Twitter, he said, welcome to Monster Island. So it's pretty great to see these two directors kind of messing around with each other, and I hope to God that these movies are good and they don't mess them up. They probably won't. We'll talk about right now, it's going to be pretty hard for them to mess up Godzilla vs. Kong anyways, seeing as though Terry Rossio has already announced that the movie has started writing. Now, they've started writing the movie here in 2017. The movie comes out in 2020, so they're giving themselves a good 3 years to write this movie and plan it out and make it good. Now, the other thing that really suggests that they're not going to mess this movie up is the fact that we have we have a lot of writers for this movie, and that could sometimes be a bad thing, because sometimes that means that there's going to be so many ideas thrown around that they're just not going to be able to form like a coherent good movie. But I think with this one, it's a pretty simple concept. Take Godzilla, take King Kong, have them fight, there's your movie. I think we're in good hands here. We do have a lot of writers for this movie, which, like I said, isn't always the best thing, but I'm gonna take it with this one and say that it hopefully will be. If I remember correctly, Kong Skull Island also had a fair number of writers, and so does Godzilla King of the Monsters has a fair number of writers. Kong Skull Island is one of my favorite movies, so there is hope. And these are all the writers for Godzilla King of the Monsters. We have Lindsay Beer, Max Borenstein, who of course I don't think he's directly involved anymore. He's not credited as the writer room. He's credited as characters now, because he worked on Godzilla vs Kong, or he worked on Kong Skull Island as well as Godzilla. So I think it's just the fact that he kind of set up the MonsterVerse is why he's still credited as a writer, and he worked on Godzilla and Kong as characters. Now we have Patrick McKay, T.S. Nolan, Jack Paglin, John DePayne, Terry Ruscio, which we just talked about because he just announced that they started writing. Some potentially Russian guy, J. Michael Dranzenlicht. I messed up his last name, but that doesn't really matter because he's not going to watch this. And then Kat Varsko. So I think we might be in good hands with this movie. I was initially pretty worried for this one. I'm still worried for Godzilla King of the Monsters. I don't know about that one. But Godzilla vs Kong, they got this. Like, there's no way they mess this up. It's such a simple concept. Watch Toho's movie and say, all right, let's do that, but less funny. Boom, you got a movie, you got a good movie. That's all you need to do. So I don't know. I definitely am excited for the future of Godzilla, and all this news, this upcoming fan film that's coming out, this video game, all this stuff. I'm really excited for what we're in for in these next few years. Great time to be a Godzilla fan. I will be doing some discussion videos coming out tomorrow, maybe just one, but I'll be doing a discussion video tomorrow, and then I'll be doing loads of discussion videos here in the next few months over what we think the story will be for Godzilla vs Kong, as well as some other things like that. So make sure you stay tuned for that, guys. Other than that, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. D-Man.